Okay. Zoom. Back to Zoom. Back to Zoom. Time is up. 2 minutes till 2 minutes till the hour, and we are live on YouTube. And today I'm going to bring you guys on some panelists on. We're going to talk about some stuff here real quick. But first of all, this is my first Mighty Meetup for my fellow process servers, hanging out with you guys on the road. How cool is that? How cool is that? So we're going to be getting started here in just a couple minutes. But what I want you to be thinking about as we get things set up and as people come in, I want you to be thinking about what have you already been doing to build your brand? Okay. What have you already been doing? And if you're like, Mike, I don't even know what a brand is yet, we're going to talk about that too. So don't go anywhere. All right, all right, all right. Let's get her going. It's Jeff, Mary, Edge. Everyone, welcome. Panelists. Jeff can be a panelist. All right, let's get it rocking and rolling. My first time doing this from my phone that I can remember. I had to go drop my Suburban off, and they gave me a brand new Chevy Silverado with launch control as a borrow truck, and they said I could keep it for 2 weeks. So I think they want me to buy it. But what's going on, Jeff? How are you, sir?
I am busier than heck.
Yeah,
I hope,
that's
I
good. Well,
hope, go
thanks for
ahead.
making the time, man.
Yeah, barely 2 minutes late. Yeah, it's been crazy, and I hope it's part to you. A little bit late of changing my lifestyle, but it maybe it's coming.
Oh, really? You got some stuff going on?
Well, I always talk about make sure to answer the phone, but when you have the problem of three calls coming in at the same time, it's kind of tricky, but that's not a bad problem.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we've been having I got an experience I want to share with you guys today, which I'm pretty excited about, and it relates to that, Jeff, that I think people that I think could help a lot of people. Um, I know it certainly has helped me. I'm just letting people in here real quick. So, Edge, my love, and Mary, let me let you guys in. Mainly, what I want you guys to do, if you can, is let people in, okay? As people come in, I want you to change their role to panelist. If they accept, great. If not, it's okay. But we don't want to exclude anybody, okay? We are live on YouTube, so don't be sharing any personal details about any surveys or anything like that, okay? Um, all right, and then while we're going here, let's go ahead and share inside the chat. Put your company information so that everybody, because there's a way to save the chat. If you hit the three little dots, you can save the chat. That way, in the future, it'll actually download to your computer so you can actually reach out to these folks, build meaningful relationships with other process servers in the industry. And that is so, so powerful. So, those of you guys just coming in, if you're wondering, um, you're probably not wondering, actually, never mind. I'm sitting in REI Sporting Goods parking lot because I just was having a great morning and just driving this truck like a bat out of hell, and then I was like, oh, it's already almost 1 o'clock. So I didn't want to miss you guys today because I know how much, when people take time in their day to do this, to network with each other, it's important. So um I am Michael Reed. I don't see anybody brand new. I see a couple of names I don't recognize. Let's see. So I would just, my name is Michael Reed. I am the president of 123 Legal Support and Mighty Website Builder, and a couple other companies that are not relevant here. And I love networking with folks and building relationships because I feel like that is how I built my business. When I first built my business, that's how I did it. Was I networked with folks. I did a lot of affiliate work. I took over two different process serving companies without having to buy them. Just they just went out of business over time. Just people, it's business is a tough racket, and so they just did not stick around. And I don't know how well the Bluetooth's working here. Can you hear me okay, Jeff?
Yes, loud and clear.
Oh, good, good. This be that brand new Silverado. Love it, man. Love me a Chevy. All right, so let's go on. Jeff, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, yeah, Jeff Spar, Private Investigations by Jeff Spar, Virginia Court Services, Richmond, Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, 40 miles east of Virginia Tech, process server, private investigator for 30 years. And hello, Charlie. Thank you very much.
I see Mr. Profit is on. Welcome, Charles. Come on, Charles, don't be shy. Introduce yourself. Anytime
Charles,
we have the. big dog Charles Profit on.
I don't know about all that. Can you hear me okay? Can you
I
hear me?
can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Charles Profit, Patriot Process Service, Virginia, Maryland, and DC.
And he's a stand-up comic as well, right?
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes.
Good to see. Good to see you, brother.
Yep. It's hard to make it sometimes. I'm busy. I forget.
Well, you got that new fancy office and the new background and everything else just changed. It's like you forgot about all of us.
Yeah, there you go.
you
Bucks for this office.
you look you're looking skinny too, brother.
A little.
Like you lost weight.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice, nice. Well, the idea here is with the masterminds that we network with each other, we get to know each other pretty well, and that's the best people to do business with too. The people you can trust, the people that would lose a dollar here to save your neck there, that you would do the same for them, and then at the end of the day, we all make money that way too. Um, since I moved out of Chico, we have anybody else help me out with screens? Anybody else showing their screen? Let me see.
Mandy.
On mobile, there's a bunch of people. Yeah, mobile, I can't really tell. Mandy, how are you, ma'am? Mandy's
I'm
running.
good. I'm so busy. I'm just like chasing my tail around here. You guys know I'm 3 weeks in. Oh no, no, no. Actually, tomorrow will be 30 days that I've owned this business. So yeah, I'm chasing my tail. Every day is
Well,
a
you know
learning
what?
experience.
That's a good problem to have. Where are you located?
I'm just east of Sacramento in El Dorado County.
That's a good
So
area. That's a good area.
yeah, it's busy out here, and we're the only game in town, and I'm super lucky to buy this business. I mean, literally, she kind of just gave it to me, and she's staying with me until she's ready to retire, which I don't think she really wants to.
Yeah, you
So
did say
yeah,
that too. I remember. Yeah. Well, that's so
yeah,
cool. Well, welcome.
yep. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. We'll try to keep it short today. Really, the main thing is I want to everybody gets a chance. If you share your screen, you get a chance to introduce yourself, and if you do it enough, people will start to like. I don't know how many times I've heard that Jeff is a certain distance. Apparently, I need to hear more from Virginia Tech. Okay,
I
he's
only
getting a
say
phone
that.
call.
I only say that because everybody knows Virginia Tech. They don't know Roanoke, Virginia.
Uh, I see. Yeah, no big deal. But yeah, those are cool. Those are cool details. I like that. I like that. I live in New Mexico, and we get tons of jobs still in the place where I founded my company in Chico, California. Edge is on right here, and she's my assistant. Edgelyn is her full name, and so she got a job today, which I think could be a good learning thing. She got a job today, and the guy was like, "We need you to pick up the documents from my house." And I told her, I said, "Well, first of all, he's got to order online, and then you need to have him pay extra for the pickup." And she goes, "So call him back." So she called him back, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll pay extra, no problem." And I said, "Okay, well," and then when he ordered same day service. Well, no, he ordered routine service, but he told her, and he put in the notes that it had to be served today. And so I said, "Well, you got to call him back again because he didn't pay for that." Same day on demand service is $4.97. So he paid $150. And so she called him back, and she's like, "Well, are you willing to pay the on demand fee?" He's like, "Yep, no problem. No problem." So we were in this situation where we had to send him an invoice. And I'm just like, oh, but at the end of the day, what a blessing is it that you can charge, because you're a professional company, that you can charge a premium for services, and some people have no problem paying it. To make $500 to go pick up a serve. By the way, I'll just mention him because I love him. You guys can send him stuff directly. David Forsyth over. He comes to these sometimes in Chico. I basically I moved out of there. I stopped serving and I send him all my work and I pay his premium. I pay his website rates. Right? He gets how much does he get, Edge, from us? I know we built his website and all that too and his online order form, but she just goes straight on his website, uses my credit card. How much did we pay him for the first two we just sent him?
For the first two, if I'm not mistaken, that's around 130
Yeah,
for rush. That's
130.
yeah, that's a rush service.
Yeah, yeah. And then I saw that one invoice come through at 140. I have no problem paying that because I'm making hand over fist more than that, right? And do you think David's excited about going and serving my papers for me if I'm paying his website rates, right? So could I be like, hey, can you give me a discount? Of course. And we do that sometimes, right, Edge? If it's something we're not charging a whole lot on. But if somebody does a great job for you, you should be willing to pay their rates. And I'm really excited about something that I can't talk a lot about, but I'm excited about this software that somebody built that they haven't shared with anybody. And I partnered with him kinda. He's given me access to it. And it essentially allows there's nothing to sell or anything like that. So don't think that. It's just it blows Serve Manager, PST, any CRM you can imagine out of the water. And we did a full thing yesterday looking at it. And it's essentially, ProofServe, right? ProofServe, the platform that they have to be able to get work from customers and integrate with their platform like Clio. Because attorneys, they use things like Clio, and it allows them to do their case management, kind of like how we do. We use our case management. Well, they're able to see like, okay, they got their $5,000 retainer, and they have to track the hours, and they have to fill out the documents, and they have to file them with the court, right? That's their thing. But their thing integrates with proof. This is one of the reasons why they're doing so well with attorneys, because once they get them, they keep them because the attorney's like, wow, this platform's so easy to use. I don't even have to log into this platform. I log in once, upload my credit card information, and now I'm back in Clio, and I just order directly from Clio. And there's a bunch of other case management tools too, but Clio is one of the main ones. And so this software is integrated with those. But it allows you to, we're working on something. I told them, I said, we don't want to be in between the server and the client though. And so we're working on something that's going to allow you to white label it with your branding, your company information, and you'll be able to use it like a server software that does 100 times more and better, and it's easy to use, and it walks you through the whole system. So just get excited, even if you don't sign up for it, like when it comes out, check it out. I'm excited to share it with you guys because it's going to change my business dramatically on how easy it is. Like I could probably be a one-man show, honestly. I just don't want to be. This is why I have Edge and Mary crushing it for me in office. So there's that. So branding, let's talk about branding really quick and just see. I'm curious to know what questions you have, what experience you have. I know Charles, you both you, Charles and Jeff, been in business for a long time. Mandy's just getting started with it. But everyone has the same, I think everyone has the same sentiment is like, you're busy. You're busy. You got so much going on. Like I could barely come to this meeting, right? Type of thing. It's a good problem to have. It's a great problem to have. So why do we worry about branding? It's something called churn. It's something called churn, right? In the membership, they call it MRR, monthly recurring revenue. When you have a software, it's called churn, where people will leave you. Well, it's the same thing with service-based industries. You're only as good as your last serve. So if for some reason any little thing that may not even have been your fault happens, you lose that customer if you don't have certain automations in place for following up and saying, how did we do? And even if you do have those automations set up, sometimes you still lose them. And then you talk to the paralegal. I haven't done a job for me in a while. Yeah, I think you guys messed up on something. We used somebody else, but now we need you again or whatever. Like I've had that happen where I'm like, dang, I didn't even miss you. Yeah, I didn't even miss you until I saw you in the store or whatever. Have you had that happen, Charles? Yeah, it happens.
Or they'll go away for a while. They get mad at you and they'll go away for like 3 months because
Yeah.
they found somebody cheaper, and all of a sudden they screw something up, and then they come back and like, oh, the price, we shouldn't mess with the price, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They'll go away and then they come back and they're so I love the one thing I do love about them though is that they're not emotional about it for the most part. If it's a paralegal, she's just like, can you serve it? Can you go? Let's go. And she'll pay you. The attorneys will sometimes get emotional because they're the ones showing up to court without a proof. And it becomes emotional when the judge is like, counsel, do we have a proof of service? Basically, can we talk about this, move forward with judge? Oh no, we can't. Okay. And so I think a lot of process servers don't realize what a vital role you have. Like they cannot move forward with their case in any kind of judgment capacity without having that proof of service on file. So good stuff. All right. So branding. So how do we get rid of churn and losing the customers? Branding is everything when it comes to bringing in new business, but it's also a big deal in understanding how to keep people happy. So if let's say you have a customer, they're not even involved. I have a lot of attorneys that know me that don't send me work. Their paralegals do. And as far as they know, their paralegals still do. And if stuff ever rolls uphill, I guess you could say, where there's something bad happens, if that attorney was on my show and that attorney or watches my show and that attorney sees my post, sees my branding, sees I'm professional, sees that I'm still in business, and something hits the fan and it goes up to that attorney and the attorney's, oh, what happened? Mike's people did what, or Mike did what? And you get in trouble for it, of course, always. And so you got to make the phone call, or maybe he calls you or she calls you. And now it's as simple as like, you've already built rapport with them, assuming you're not being a clown on social media. You're going to have fun or whatever, but you got to build a brand of integrity that you're getting the job done, right? So when you do talk to them and you say, yeah, I had whatever the situation was, I'm so sorry, you own it, right? You own it like a champion. And then I think my Bluetooth's still on.
Yep.
Yeah, you own it like a champion, and then you say, like, how can we make this right for you? Like, uh, I've taken care of the person that made the mistake, or I made the mistake. I'm so sorry. I'll make it right to you, whatever you have to do. And you basically got to eat crow. I mean, I've had to do it maybe twice in 10 years. And both times it wasn't my fault, but by pointing the finger at somebody in my office or a server only makes me look weak. You look so much more stronger when you just accept it and go, listen, there was a system breakdown. It's my fault. And I've taken care of it. We've made corrections. And listen, I want to take care of this one for you, give you a full refund on this. I want to give you the next 3 jobs for free. And we're going to crush it on those ones. And just let me know what else I can do to make this right for you, brother, and I try to be as friendly as I can, bring that relationship back.
The
What do you
larger,
guys think? You guys been around for a while.
the larger you get to, the more you're gonna have to make those phone calls too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
because it's just a numbers game, right?
yeah, you get in your servers, you're gonna have that server that screws it up for you. And then, you gotta call and bite the bullet. And basically I'm like, hey, my server made a mistake. This is what I've done. I put it in place so it doesn't happen again. We found we had a flaw and now we fixed it, or I'm gonna eat this one and get your paperwork, renewed, and I'll take care of the next one for you. And I just had it recently happen where I basically 5 subpoenas slipped through the crack. And I dreaded the phone call, but I've built that rapport with the attorney, so I had to go over and call the attorney and say, hey, I did this. And he's like, it's no big deal. Shit happens. Don't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I had worried about 3 days making this phone call. And I was gonna have to eat crow. And this guy could have cared less. He's like, oh, shit happens. Don't worry, I'll do it
Yeah.
again. And, I didn't really need that anyways. I'm like, great. I was like, well, there's no charge.
Wow.
But I worried about it. And it's all because, like you said, I've gotten rapport with the attorneys. And a lot of
Yeah.
times I'll see an attorney out somewhere and I'll be like, hey, I haven't gotten any work from you guys lately. And he's like, what? And he'll go check
Yeah.
with his paralegal and he'll be like, why aren't you sending him work? Well, I
Yeah.
said this other guy's a little cheaper. He's like, I don't care. You send it to him, So You
Huh.
got, like you said, you got to build a rapport, and brand, I guess, is,
Well, rapport is when it becomes a personal thing where it's like the person's name and your name and you're talking, you take them out to lunch or whatever. But brand is, it's crazy because brand, I'll go live sometimes and I'll have, 30, 40 people watching, and most times people are like, well, that's nothing. Imagine sitting in a room with 40 people.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of people. And if you're smart about your social media where you go out, I'll give you guys a couple of tips right away that are like super basic. One is, and you guys might see me posting, go like, why does he post this just random stuff? There's a reason behind it. So stories. So do one post on your personal profile. If you don't share your personal profile on Facebook with anybody, then you just use the same rules, but for your page, right? So your business page. Okay. So you post one story. The reason why, one post. And then you need to post like 5 stories. If you get in a habit of posting your stories, like you know what I'm talking about? The stories are the ones that are around your face. If they click on your face and then it shows like a story, that's called a story. A Facebook post is just a post. And your post per day could literally be you sitting at your computer getting proofs done. And you could just put in the caption, knocking out proofs for our top law firms in, whatever city, because it ranks when you put in the city or whatever on Facebook, it might show up. Process server, Virginia process server, or working hard for our Virginia law firms, getting these proofs done, blah, blah, blah. Something simple. It doesn't have to be, people overthink it, but posting once and then doing the story post. What is a story post? The story post is like simple. It's vertical. You turn your phone up and you do a story post where you just hold down the little thing and say, like something that would be so cool if I was an attorney and I had a process server that I followed. By the way, you want to go follow the attorneys, and then you follow the attorney, and then you post things in groups that they're in, or you post things to their page. And as soon as they like one of your posts, Facebook rewards you with the ability to invite them to like your page. So instead of doing these big old blasts where you're just inviting everyone to like your page and you get a bunch of likes and you don't know who they are, be more intentional about it and think like, okay, I'm going to do a post that I think he might like or she might like, or I'm going to do a post that's a helpful post inside of this law firm page, law firm group. And you get like these 30 lawyers who like it. It could be a meme. It could literally be a meme about attorneys rushing to the courthouse to try to file something before the court closes or whatever, you know. Can you relate or something like that? And then once they like it, you invite them to like your page. And once they like your page, they see everything you do. Let me tell you guys something. You're probably thinking like I did. Okay, Mike, I get it, but you're the marketing guy. So that I'm telling you, this works. So I'm dating a girl right now. I should not say it. I'm going to though. I'm dating a girl right now.
A girl?
A woman. Stop.
No, I was
She's a
thinking,
real woman. She's real.
I thought you were still dating guys.
Yeah. No, I gave that up. Yeah, they're
Oh,
too
okay.
hairy. Sure. No, but I post on social media all the time, right? I post. Well, one time I went into a group. This is a good where it's a good example. So I went into a local group called East Mountain 411. It's like a Facebook group for the people who live in this area. And I said, what kind of restaurant would you guys want to see move into town if you could? Because I was thinking about starting a food truck. It got like 1,000 comments. People were it was a poll. People were voting on the poll, a bunch of comments like crazy. And one of the girls in the community, I didn't know this, but she saw the post, and so she followed me. She followed my Facebook. And then months later, I'm posting and I post something about teaching realtors, and I like did this flex in the gym or whatever. And she hearted it. She hearted it. What I mean by that is like on the stories, you can see who sees your stories. If you swipe up, you can see who has looked at your story. So you can see when people are creeping on your page, basically. And then, but she had hearted it. So I messaged her and I said, hey there. And she's just like beautiful blonde, like 6 foot tall, just like amazing woman. And she's just like, no, I just moved into town a couple months ago or whatever. And so we've been dating and it's been amazing, right? It's been great. And so I only share that because that's exactly how you get attorneys to follow you. and to realize, and or any other business you have, you post something that they're interested in, they see it, so they follow you. They're like, oh dang, I got to keep up with this guy. He knows about all the courthouse closings. And like, think about an attorney who just gets out of law school, right? And they're like, I got to get a paralegal, I got to get my first case, I got to get things rolling. He sees this process server who's knowledgeable, who's been in business for a long time, whatever, or she, right? And they're going to follow you, I promise you. And you're like, hey, to all my law firms, speak to them. Hey, to all my lawyers out there and paralegals that send us work, I just want to make sure you guys know courthouse is closed for Memorial Day. You're going to need to get your stuff in by Friday. If you'd like for me to pick it up or someone on my team, you can either email it to us or we'll come by and pick it up. Even if you have no intention of going to the courthouse, this is what they relate to. So you're relatable to them. Now they're going to follow you, even if they don't need something right now. They're like, in the future, I guarantee I'm going to need him because I'm going to crush it in this business. And then you have a way for them to go back to your website to actually connect with you. Hey, if you actually want to know about all the court closures and new court rules as they come up, you go to my newsletter, subscribe to my newsletter. We don't spam you. We only send you court updates and different promotions for our company, like maybe once a quarter, right? For free skip tracing, we do free skip tracing February, right, or something. And they're gonna go like, what's skip tracing? Or, you know. But anyway, you go down this rabbit hole of what you're a professional in. They follow you, and then your stories are how you're gonna connect with them, because you're constantly posting stories of you. Hey, I just got 5 new serves, going to serve out in some outside town outside of Virginia, Roanoke or whatever, right? Like for you, Jeff. And so they happen to live in that city. So they go, oh, that's where I live. And they've already been following you, and you have no idea who this person is. You have no idea who this person is. But because you posted some post, they started creeping on you and following you and seeing your stories over time. And then all of a sudden you say something that it relates to their life, and they feel like they know you. So they may comment on it, or they may like it, or they may heart it, and then now they're in your sphere. They're not just like a passive spy follower. They're actually now somebody who you can connect with, because as soon as they connect with you in any way, even they like your story post, it's more intimate because it's in the moment. It's not just a post that you're doing once a day. It's a story post. So now you reach out to them and you go, like I said to this girl, I said, hi there. That's all I said. And then it started from there. But if it was an attorney, you'd say something like, he hearts it and be like, oh, do you live out in that area or whatever? You just start the conversation. Before you know it, you slide into their DMs, and then you just start the conversation like that. And then before you know it, they're your client. And we've talked about this a lot, but it only takes one big client to really start to move things along. If you're just starting out, if you've been in the business a while, I know, Charles, you guys, it's like you get those mid-level clients and you're like, every time you get one, you're like, that's a light bill, right? That's another office staff, okay, you know. And if you guys need, that's just a general high level overview. If you guys want a training on it, I'll do a screen share and put it inside of the community, their Mighty Process Server community on School. I think it could be helpful to some people if they think it's helpful. If you're watching the replay or you're watching on YouTube, comment, I want the training or something. And that way I know people actually want it, because, that's a big part of this, is it's all kind of me just helping and trying to be helpful and getting to know you guys. And I've learned a lot from the people that have been in these masterminds with me. So do you guys have any feedback or any questions about that? I know you guys have been in it a while.
I don't really
Anybody
do it.
using social media?
I don't use it as much as you do. I probably don't use it hardly at all.
Yeah, you don't have to go Instagram and whatnot. Instagram, you can auto post from Facebook to the different platforms, which is fine. But I think that the place to be is Facebook and LinkedIn. Like, if you want a direct outbound prospect, which means sit down and reach out to folks, LinkedIn is the best, because people expect that. But LinkedIn is not great for engagement. So if you find the absolute best thing to do is to join lawyer groups for your area, and do not spam. Do not put your company information at all. Just be a member of the community.
Is that in
When they're
LinkedIn?
posting this,
In
no,
LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, you could share your info like that. I'm talking about on Facebook groups. Yeah, LinkedIn is it's expected you're going to be professional and you're going to share your information. But in a group, unless they tell you, hey, share your info, but usually they're very they'll remove people for sharing they call it spam. So what you do instead is you just be a part of the community. You see what people are posting and you go in and you reply to their posts. And the other thing to do is you do a post, but you make it something that you think the community would find fun, or valuable, courthouse closure, whatever, right? Like, stuff like that. Because then when they like if you could join those groups as a page, that's even better. But most groups, my groups, I don't allow pages. I only allow people, because I want to see if they're a real person. Right? Anyone could create a fake page with a fake name or whatever. Right? I guess you could create a fake profile too, but Facebook has made it very hard. They've made it very difficult to maintain multiple profiles. Believe me on it.
Yeah.
I've gotten quite a few of them deleted.
I've got one old one that I've had around for probably 10 years that I think
Yeah.
it's still around. And I use that, to pop on something here and there, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I have this like bombshell named Anna, and I won't tell you her last name, but it's provocative, and but it sounds like it could be real, and she's beautiful, and so I get a lot of it's easy to friend request and immediately gets accepted immediately. The problem is a lot of these scammers, they'll send you these like it's a model, she can't be model level. She has
Right.
to be mid-level, like where she's attractive, but she probably had one kid maybe.
Yeah.
It sounds controversial, but it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. I get like these supermodels friend requesting me. No, they don't even friend request me anymore. They send me they comment on
Yeah.
they'll comment on one of my posts saying, "Man, I would love to be your friend.
Yeah.
I'd love to be your friend if you would only friend request me and we could begin our journey of love together." I get those all the time.
I get those
All the
texts
time.
like that now. They'll text you and say, act like you're somebody else. I'm like, wrong number. And they're like, oh, well, sorry to bother you. Are
Oh
you
yes.
busy?
Yeah.
You seem like such a
Yeah.
nice guy.
It's so strange too that they use the wrong name, right? Like I'm
Right.
like, wouldn't it be way smarter to be like try to fish for my name first?
Yeah.
If you couldn't get it, then go to that. I don't know. Or maybe people are more naive than I realize, and they're like Bobby, and you're like, no, Charles. Do people do that?
Well, they're like,
Why is
they'd
that?
say, I'll say, no, you got the wrong number. They're like, oh, sorry to bother you. They're like, and I was like, no problem. Have a good day. And then they'll go, oh, you seem like such a nice person. You're very polite. How are you today? And then they go try to start up a
Oh,
conversation. And they do that all the
they
time. And
like,
I'll tell them, yeah, I just do the same thing over it. The other day, they sent me a picture of the dog saying, hey, doctor, is this doctor such and such? My vet's really sick. And I wrote back, you should immediately put a bullet in his head to put him out of his misery.
oh no, no. YouTube, we do not condone this violence. So yeah, no, I think yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going on. But when it comes to building a brand, like I kind of went extreme, like telling you what I would do, what I do, and what we're trying to scale up on. But the best way to get new business is just to pick up the phone and call them and do the be the backup training. That's the way I've been able to. I need to do it more too, honestly, because no one does it. Like it's just like a free reign. Like if you wanted to build a huge business and you just use other process servers. You don't need your own servers. You just pick up the phone and then train salespeople, and then I'm probably going to do that at some point if I keep 123. If I don't sell 123 in the next couple of years.
So since we only have a couple people on here, I'll mention this, but I've never done cold calling. Never.
Oh, never.
When I first started, I went in this little town. I just went door to door to attorneys' offices and dropped off business cards. And from there,
That's what most people do.
and they started
That's what I
calling
did too.
word of mouth. But I've watched, I've seen how you've gotten business doing your cold calling. I just don't like doing it, so I never have. And I've never needed to, so I haven't
Yeah.
had to do
Well,
the
is it? But going in person is like, it's like that's what I did. I didn't know calling or like I also I thought if I called, I'd be bugging them.
Yeah.
And if I walk in, they have to deal with me.
Yeah.
They don't know why I'm there yet.
And you and
But
I have a personality too, so we can go in and
yeah,
schmooze a little.
yeah.
I
Oh my
mean,
gosh, how many paralegals did I date, man? So
yeah.
many, so many
So,
paralegals.
so it's,
And I didn't try. That wasn't the goal. It's just you go in there and you're charming and if you do this for a little while, you make pretty good money and now you're driving a nice car and you're out serving and you know everybody because you serve everywhere and you know all the places to go. And
yeah,
I think it's a great job for like a young guy
yeah,
for
absolutely.
yeah.
That,
When
that, that
what
that knocks
year
me
did you
out of the deal
start?
there.
No, we eventually we passed the torch, right? And young whippersnappers could go out and do it. And then if you have to do, like, I think it would be a great retirement job too, I guess, because then that's just something you do to keep the lights on or whatever. And or you have your pension or something from another job and you just want to serve on the side. I think it's great for that. But you could build a freaking empire. You could build like you look, I don't want to name drop, but we know those really big companies. Some of them are selling for hundreds of millions of dollars, like crazy amounts of money. And are they not that much different than our companies? Like my company, it's different in the way that I have. It's very software heavy with California being so e-file, But aside from that, it's just serving, right? You're out there. It's like a glorified courier company, you know. If you treat this business like a courier business, like an actual business of couriers, where you take care of your drivers, if you want to call them, you take care of your drivers, you give them incentives, you know that they're the only way you're going to stay in business is if they effectively make those deliveries and they communicate the status of the deliveries, whatever. If you treat it like that, it'll open up your eyes in a big way. I think a lot of process servers look at this like, oh, we're doing this, unique thing, and every process server is their own boss, so I have to do it. The reason why the big companies scale so well is because they ask more from their process servers. They want them to log into their portal, and they want them to serve it for less, and they want them to, you know. So it
Well,
sucks to say it, but
the
be
Facebook
more
groups
like them.
slamming the big companies, but
Yeah.
slam them all you want, but they're doing something right.
Yes, exactly. No, that's exactly it. So yeah, slam them all you want, but they're the ones that are going to go through an exit of $100 million or more,
Yeah.
and to most people that's unfathomable.
Yeah.
But if you do the things I'm talking about, picking up the phone, and I'm not just saying this that everyone else should do this. I'm doing this in California in many markets, primarily the ones where we get a lot of e-filing for the courts. And whenever a new courthouse e-filing is becoming mandatory, our whole team starts cold calling that area, and we get quite a few people who are like they don't get things served all the time. They get something served like once a month, and so you don't see the results right away. But when they do start sending you stuff, you're like, whoa, oh that was from a month ago. Oh that was from. But still, what continues to be the biggest driver of business for us is e-filing. And I think in the future we're moving into Texas, e-filing in Texas, and it's free there. So different than California. So it's a whole different like what I'm used to. So we're having to do things a little bit differently. So what we might end up doing is charging more for service and e-filing for them, like concierge e-filing for free. And I'm hoping I can sell the company before I get to that point. I don't know. In the next couple of years, we'll see. We'll see. I might do like these other guys and jump ship and go just work for a giant software company that'll pay me millions of dollars. Who knows? Definitely not InfoTrack though. Definitely not those guys. I guess unless if they paid me enough. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about this business, building something that you can bless your children with, right? Why else would we be doing this? Yeah. There's so many other jobs you could do that pay more. They could pay more money
I figured
if you have
would
skills.
be ready to retire, but now he's starting to pump things up more.
Who, Jeff?
Yeah, he's sending me more business than he ever has. He's starting to.
Jeff's a killer, man.
I was going to bring that up, but I was waiting for a chance to jump in here. But no, that's only partially due to Mike and Desi and some tips that Mike has given me. So yes, I have sent you some more for areas by the beach and stuff like that. That's with my addresses that I have out there. So it's working. So yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like in the BNI meetings, they
Say it
do like
again.
a shout out.
I figured you'd be ready to retire, and you're starting to ramp things up.
No, I've been ready to retire since August of 2021, trying to get my son to do this full time in between other things, because I do not want to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning like I have been for the last 3 days up in Botetourt County. And lastly, while I'm running my mouth, that e-service, I'm sorry, electronic service, one of these days, and you should know more about this than me because you're in on all those politicians and stuff like that that are writing the statute and requesting this and that. But eventually, other than maybe divorce papers, first papers for a divorce, we might be done. Number one, I'm going to run my mouth for another minute. Number two, I'm probably the only one in all of Southwest Virginia that follows House Bill 780 that allows us to e-file the returns of service that came up in the 2020 session. A lot of clerks don't even know that. I'm done.
Do you know who put that bill in?
Probably somebody you know.
I did.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
That was my bill.
That's so cool, guys. That's so cool. See, that's what it's all about. Like, what if everybody got together like this? We got all of the big players, people who wanted to crush it on this meeting. Like, that's so cool, Charles, that you did that. Like, the ability to charge for that too is crazy.
Well,
you're
talking about the bill that allows you to, the court's allowed to accept a copy or facsimile, right?
That is exactly right, and that's because it saves me money on stamps. And I've gotten feedback from probably 10 clerks, including Fairfax and a few others, that they email me back and say, I'm Montgomery County too. Montgomery County is famous. They said to me, we'll put it in the file as a placeholder. I don't even answer them back anymore because one clerk I wrote back and said, it's the law. You have to accept it. She wrote back and apologized and copied all of her deputies.
Well, I wondered about that. So I was just wanting them to accept a copy as part of an original because, we get stuff from all over the state and so I just copied the code of some other code and it said facsimile, but facsimile basically means a copy. It doesn't actually mean a fax machine or a fax copy, but it says they shall accept a copy of an affidavit.
As long as you put on the bottom of the affidavit, you can't read this because it's blurry, but I had a stamp made up in Serve Manager actually has a check mark on mine now where I can check the mark. Yeah, and it says, H Bill 780, this is a true copy of the original. And then I had them add 2020 session because House Bill 780 that number is reused all the time. So you have to put in 2020 session.
So I just have the code section on there that I had added.
Yeah.
But they, when I first tried to go before them to get the code, they had an attorney down there for the Clerks Association that said they didn't want to pass that bill because they were scared of fraud. And I argued with them saying that wasn't the clerk's job, it was the judge's. And they wanted us to have another affidavit on there. And I'm like, so you want 2 notary stamps on there? And I said, how about just a signature saying it's a copy? It's an authentic copy. He goes, okay, we'll do that. So then it went on through. We made an amendment and it went on through. The House of Delegates part. But
yeah, and to not take over Mike's meeting, but I also started using the declaration of perjury, foregoing information, I declare under penalty. So in other words, I'm not using an actual, I'm not using a notary, and I switched to I declare under penalty of perjury.
Well, I do that when I'm in a rush. I try to use a notary just in case somebody question, but if I'm in a rush, I use that declaration.
Yeah, it just saves a lot of time and money.
Yeah. But I have all my people, as soon as they get hired, I get them a notary. So it's just easier.
You guys are crushing, man. So cool. So cool to see. I got some late arrivals here. Welcome, Tony, Chris. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Yeah, we're just kind of wrapping things up here, but I'm curious to know. I'd love to hear what works, first of all. The second of all, I would love to hear what's not working, what people are struggling with the most. And then, because that's what we find in these meetings, you may not know this if you're new or you haven't been coming, but I have been fascinated when I come and I bring a question to a group, even of just like 10 people, right? Of how many different solutions that are all seem like they could work or be effective. Mandy, awesome, Mandy. So I think you're probably best poised right now to tell us what you're struggling with the most.
Oh gosh. Everything I'm using process server toolbox, but I'm learning the lingos. Like I've never been sued. I've never really had to go to court other than a divorce, which was over it was during COVID, so I didn't even have to go in. It was so easy. So learning all the lingo and then trying to put it into process server is just everything is just new. It's all of it.
Okay. No, I love this. I love it. So you're using process server toolbox. Well, we do have a couple people here. Um, people blowing me up. People blowing me up. Edge, answer that. Edge is on here.
I mean,
Answer
I
their
am
phone, Edge.
learning, and Calipers actually has a workshop coming up on the 18th, which I think will be really good for me.
Cal's Pro. Is that what you mean? Cal's Pro?
Or Cal's Pro. Yeah, Cal's Pro has
Yeah.
one. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think that'll
Cal's
be
Pro is
helpful.
great.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of
Yes.
it. And the lady that I'm buying the business from, she's awesome. And she keeps saying she's an awful teacher, which she's not the greatest, but she's got the patience of an angel. So what do I want? You know? So, but it's
I
starting
love
to
it. I
sink
love it.
in. But yeah, it's been 3 weeks, and a couple weeks ago I just was like, what am I doing? And now I'm just like, oh my God, everything takes me like an hour.
Well, I can tell you PST is one of the more complicated when you first start trying to figure it out, because you got to go over here to change this, go over there to get
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get used to it, it's people tend to like it a lot. Anybody have any comments on PST or helpful things that might be helpful?
Yeah, switch to serve manager.
I had a weird thing happen. This guy from Montana, he put me in. Oh gosh, I haven't even finished writing up his thing, but he had me go do this random serve, and he sent me this paperwork. And this place was like a 45-minute drive, so I already charged him more. And he's like, starts talking about a divorce, and I'm looking at this paperwork. I'm like, this is not a divorce. This is like the government, some government entity suing some guy's business. And I literally was all the way up getting ready to serve this guy. And me and the lady Kathy, the owner, we printed this stuff out from Serve Manager, and we got a completely different case. It was so weird. The cover sheet and everything was I don't know. So he went to go use this program, and he went and it pulled up some other random case. So he ended up just emailing me the actual files that I needed, and I haven't heard back from him why that happened, but I mean, I don't know enough about any program to put it down, you know?
So he ordered on your website?
No, he asked me to serve these papers. So he sent me the link to Serve Manager. right? Our service manager, and we pulled up the link, we clicked on
Okay.
it, we downloaded the documents, and it was like, how was I supposed to? And I'm like, okay, Heath, like we got Heath, and we're going to serve Heath. Well, that wasn't even his name. There was just that had nothing to do with him. Some random case out of like Colorado. And how would I know
So
that? Because I'm just serving it. So I just figure, okay, this is it. This is the guy. Yeah, it was
yeah,
kind of weird.
I think, Mandy, when you take the Calspro class, it's going to connect a lot of the dots. Like, the most
Yeah.
important thing to know is that, you know, a couple of things right away is that wherever a document was filed, that's its jurisdiction. That's one thing I learned right in the early on, where I was like, oh wow, because you think like, well, here in California we have to serve it this way or that way. No, there may be
Yeah.
rules you have to follow locally, but it's always based on the jurisdiction of wherever it was filed. So that's one big one that helped me a lot. In the way that they taught it too in Calspro was they said, if you have a California summons, you can serve it in Zimbabwe. It don't matter. It's if you traveled to some other country and served them, it doesn't matter if it's like penalty by death if you serve a legal document in their country. As long as you got out of that country and you filed that proof of service, it's effective service of process, and you can now go. Now, when it comes to softwares, though, what I learned is the one that you use and actually saves you time is the one that works for you. It's one of the reasons why I don't have a super hard like a stance on a software like Charles, like switch to Serve Manager. Serve Manager is easy to use in many ways. It's been very. I used it for a long time. I brought them hundreds of customers when they were the sponsor of my podcast, and really great software. But as PST has been innovating and creating their online version of PST and all this stuff, I don't see how Serve Manager could beat them with all the different tools and things that they have. But there's something I know about that's going to be coming out probably in the next month or two that is just going to blow all of these guys out of the water. And I'm not just saying that. I've seen it in action where our team has started using it. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys because
Is that processor
it's going to be like,
toolbox?
no, the thing that's coming out is something totally different. Yeah, I can't share what yet because
Oh.
I have an NDA. But when it comes out, it's a new tool for process servers that's tied to an old tool that everybody's heard of in the e-filing world. And so, but you're gonna love it. I have no doubt. People who are, it's just gonna take the whole industry by storm because we're just process servers are the most underserved market. You think about attorneys and realtors and all these guys, there's all these tools. Think about it, hundreds and hundreds of different tools for different prices, for different tiers, right, of what people can afford. But with process serving, you get Serve Manager and PST. There's a couple others too, right? But it's literally a handful, like
Yeah.
5 companies.
I joke
Well,
about,
I try to
serving.
use, I've been trying to use the process server toolbox, like that box, their app. It's good for like, putting in comments and stuff. Instead of having to come and type them out. So like there's a few things that it's going to be useful for when I can get my one guy that serves for me to on board. Just even if he just put his comments in there and uploaded his
Mhm.
pictures, that would be a lot less work for me.
Right.
But it's still not great. And then, I find that there's other apps out there with GPS, and like one I was out of service, but I had the GPS. I didn't realize it wouldn't take a picture. So I thought it was taking
Mhm.
pictures because it was clicking, but it wasn't taking a picture because it didn't have service. So
Yeah,
like
Mm.
GPS.
I don't know if
Toolbox has GPS.
yeah, but if it can't use the internet, if it can't get service, then you're not going to get your pictures either if you use that app. And it's like if I'm serving you, I'm like trying to serve you. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, let me
Yeah.
try a different app. Let me just, like you need that app to work
Yeah.
like right away because you kind of only you don't want to stand there and take pictures forever. I'm not a photographer, you know.
Well, one thing I did was I would just take the pictures and then I would use an app to add the date and time stamp. You can do that. You can
Oh,
use an app to add the date and timestamp and then upload them. But yeah, no, PST, all these different ones. It's just the most underserved market. Charles, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I joke all the time about, server manager being better. It's all what you get used to, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's what you use, just like CRMs. People say, what's the best CRM to use? Like customer relation management tool, like in real estate or different businesses. There's like literally hundreds, maybe thousands, but hundreds I know of that I've actually logged into and checked out, right? Because I'm like a software junkie, like start twitching when a new software comes out. And and but the saying always goes, they say, what's the best CRM? The best one is the one you use. If you don't use it, then it's probably not helping your business any, right? So just get rid of it. It's an unneeded expense.
Because I
But
pay for both.
imagine being able to, huh?
I have both server manager and PST. I mean, that's how I know Desi, is because
Oh
y'all call me
man,
as to how to do
Charles,
stuff.
you're gonna love me in a month. You're gonna love. Like imagine being able to sit down and look at your board and see that you got 3 new jobs from your website, and they logged in themselves, quickly went in through this like onboarding thing. They logged in, they uploaded their documents, they paid everything. And all you have to do is go based on zip code, send to these 3 servers, and these 3 servers will send back a how much they'll serve it for. It's a dude, like this is gonna just change the whole industry. It's like taking proofs technology and making it. It's not proofs technology. It's way better, but making it available to everyone. Like that's what this is. I'm excited. I'm very excited to share it with people. If I didn't
Before
have an NDA, I'd be telling you right now.
before you try and cut out and run, what's the status of the Mighty Locator?
Yeah, Mighty Locator. He says he's got his last push. We actually kind of had a little run in. I just told him, I'm like, we need something that works. And so I appreciate you getting those reports for me, Jeff. We're going to match them up. So those are very comprehensive reports that you sent me. Mighty Locators, the goal here is that it's going to give you the correct, most recent name, phone number, address, relatives, right? Very basic, not a comprehensive report. And it'll be like $1 or $3 depending on your membership. And the membership, like premium membership, will have where you'll be in the directory. And the directory is something that's going to come later, but that's huge too, because how many directors do we have in the industry? They're all junk. They don't rank, right? So that's something I'm not going to really promote until later on when it's ranking. And my hope is to crowdsource the data and if you are the one posting blog posts inside the platform, it'll whatever, we'll have to figure it out, but have it where you can actually rank and it'll show your reports that you've done for your local area, and maybe have some type of compensation where you get paid for them, or we give you a discount, give you like a month for each blog post that you do, you get a free month. I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. But I think it'd be so cool if everyone on the platform actually produced content, and then it would direct them back to the actual blog post on your website. I kind of went deep on it for a minute, so people may not know what I'm talking about, but basically it's like a directory where, like Reddit, kind of like Reddit mixed with ServeNow, but where you could go and make your own post, and people and attorneys could hire you, and that's going to be connected to Mighty Locator. So when an attorney goes to Mighty Locator to try to find somebody, or whoever does, actually, it could be a process server. On the side, it'll say hire a professional to do the skip trace, right? And so that will take them over. So we're almost done. He's got his what we call stage 4 that he's been working on, and I'm like, stage 1's not done, bro. Let's go back to the drawing board, and until you do, I ain't paying you no more money. So we'll see here in the next couple of days. He wants to meet with me. I'm like, send me a Loom video. Once I get something decent, we'll get together and actually finalize it. But I think you will be happy with that too. It's software development is it's just that's the problem with software development. You're constantly having to fix things, and there's bugs and stuff doesn't work, and so you got to be patient with that. But good question, Jeff. Thanks for bringing that up. And then, of course, we build websites. So if you need a brand new website where you can get online ordering and all that good stuff, Desi will help you out. She's over there gallivanting around in Punta Gorda or something like that. She's in
Oh,
another country right now.
U.S. Virgin Islands, right?
Yeah, what is it called?
Punta-
What
I
is
think
the country?
it's the British Virgin Islands, right?
No.
No.
Gorda, is that
What is it called? Let me see. I just know that's what she tagged it, Punta Gorda, but I think it's not Brazil, right? It's
oh, you might be right.
Portugal. Anyway, yeah, she's in Punta Gorda.
Yeah.
It's yeah, she's over there on the beach having fun, and so she'll be back. But yeah, she's a crazy
Belize.
good designer. Huh?
Belize? Is that
Oh,
what that
Belize would be nice. Belize is really nice.
Punta
Somebody's
Gorda.
getting married over there, and so she's over there at the wedding.
Oh.
I think
But
it's Dominican Republic.
I think you're right. Thank you, Mary. I never know if Mary's sleeping or if she's working.
Yeah, it's just working here.
No, her picture's there. She's leaning back in a chair looking at
She's chilling like a villain, like Matt Dillon on penicillin. Tell me, how's the website building going, Mary? In front of everybody.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Oh no, Mary.
Oh, you
Oh,
said
yeah.
Mary,
Mary. They
how's
said
the website going, Mary?
It's going better. I'd learned a lot of stuff.
Good, good. Desi's gonna check it out when she gets back Thursday.
Yeah, yeah. She
We're
already sent me an
growing, so we got to
email.
keep getting more people. Listen, if you guys need,
Hmm.
she did. Okay, good, 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 good. Yeah, I told her she needs to boost you up a little bit. You're doing a great job. So, okay, okay. So if you guys need a VA, I was gonna start a VA company because that's what I do. I'm an entrepreneur, but instead, I'll tell you how to get them. I'll tell you how I get them, how I interview them. I'll teach you how to do it. Like I'll make a course about it if you guys want, or you could just ask me questions. Jason, who comes to the meetings, I didn't give him, I guess. I referred to him two of the VAs that I had, and he picked one of them, Joe. And you have to understand, Joe would cold call for me for 8 hours a day for real estate. And he would book 3 to 5 appointments for me, real estate appointments with people. And so the English is good. They understand English. They are able to speak English. They can do data entry. They can do, and we're talking about starting at $2 an hour, right? $2 an hour, all the way up to my goal is to get Edge up to 20. I told her, I said, if you can manage 20 jobs, basically $1 an hour per job you can manage per day. You figure $20 an hour, she's in managing 20 jobs at $150 a job, like it's a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer. And you get somebody who in the Philippines making $20 an hour. Mary, how rich would you be at $20 an hour in the Philippines?
Like I can afford a luxury car.
Yeah, a luxury car. You'd be driving this thing around, huh? Like a nice
Uh,
fit. Actually, this is just Silverado. You probably have like a Escalade, huh?
So Mike,
She's like, what's that?
there's a VA, I saw advertisement where they specialized, they had serve manager and stuff, a lot of the process server software that they dealt with. Have you seen that?
No, what's that on like Upwork?
I saw it on one of the chats or something a while back, like 6 months ago. So
Hmm.
are you training these people, or do they already know how to use serve manager, or you would have to train them?
That was the goal. That was the goal, is I was going to train them and then take a buck off of the top or whatever, and make sure they show up to make sure they're doing good. Different soft tools, right? But then I was like, then it's like a whole nother business, and it's another job I have to do, or have Edge do it because she's really good. She's amazing. Hey, Edge, turn on your camera. Let's see that pretty face. Edge is a model in the Philippines. Everyone looks. She's put the pressure
What?
on right now.
a
Put the
supermodel.
pressure. Supermodel, watch out. Now, she's look at her, she's all embarrassed now. But now I interviewed 80 people. How many people were on the call, that first call, you think? It was like 40, at least 40. You remember?
Mistaken, that's at least 40.
Yeah, and they all had to read a script. That's how you start it, by the way. You have them all show up to a Zoom meeting, and one at a time they read a script. This was for real estate, right? But she nailed the script. What do you think is different between you and other VAs, Edge, that people might not be happy with?
Oh, um, my dedication. Just kidding.
Okay, whoa, okay. It's like an interview, right now. No, no, but one thing I noticed is that you go through that process with them.
That's nice.
Yeah,
She was already fucking drunk.
I'm sure.
Jeff
But
Spar.
she had to crack it up.
Okay, thank you. So one thing I noticed is that you interview these folks and you get to see, does their technology work? Does their internet and Zoom work? If they say I can't get on Zoom, my internet doesn't work, then that's a no-go right away. And then can they read a script and memorize it and follow directions? If you tell them read the script and then email me something and they can't email you or they don't email you right away, off, off, off. And so I went through that process of technology, English, and then being able to follow directions. And if you could do that, you go to onlinejobs.ph. I'll just tell you that right away. But before you go down the rabbit hole of signing up for them, it's like $80 a month or whatever. And then you get all these applications. What I would say instead is let's do it as a group. Let's do it as a group, bring them on. And if somebody's ready to hire, the first person who commits to hiring somebody gets them, say, hey, I like this person. I like that person. You might want a guy, you might want a girl. But the point is, I can bring on, and I'll get nothing from this, just to help you guys out, right? You start them off at $2 an hour, and then, okay, let's talk about that for a second. What's the conversion rate, Edge? Do you remember offhand?
Dollar to peso?
Yeah.
Oh, 55. Like,
Times
yeah,
55.
$1 is 55 peso. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're able to, at $2 an hour, they're doing pretty good. And it's not great because they know they can get paid more, right? But you can start them there, and then as they progress, I'm talking about like once a month, you look at them and you see how they're doing, and you just give them a raise. You want next month, you give them a raise. Now I like to make it
Based on
based.
productivity.
Based on productivity, give them bonuses, and then over time, if they're showing up on time and they're communicating, I use Slack, and Slack is great because they can join what's called huddles. It's kind of like little Zoom meetings. But even if I don't join the huddle, I see that they're in the huddle. I can join the huddle at any time and they're sharing their screen. And it's super easy. It's not like I have to be like a hawk over them. I can see they're in the huddle. They showed up on time. And if I jump into the huddle, it's like jumping into a Zoom meeting inside of Slack. So you have the Slack cost, you have the starting off at $2 an hour. Also, at $2 an hour, you probably want to give them full time. Give them a chance to learn, give them a chance to be there for you. 8 hours a day, full time, $2 an hour. Like, think about how much that costs. Like, even if it doesn't work, you give it a 2 weeks to see, and all of a sudden you find out you have a list. See, I thought I don't have that much extra stuff that needs to be done. Edge, Edge, how many VAs should I have? Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
I should probably have like 30 VAs, right? Because I have so many things where it's like, do this, do
Yeah.
that when it comes to different businesses and stuff. But I have found it much more effective to find just find a good one. Find a good one. I got lucky with Edge and Joe and Mike. We had 3 good ones. I gave Joe and Mike, referred them over to Jason. They now have clients. They treat you like a client. You're their client, right, Edge?
Yes, Mike.
Okay.
I mean, she's literally. What did you?
I'll take Edge and I'll pay you more
No.
money, and you come work for me.
Edge, what did I literally say to you today?
Don't leave you.
Yeah. Don't you ever leave me is what I told her. I said, I'm dating a girl now. Are you jealous? And she was like, no, I want you to be happy. Like, stop flirting with me, basically. And then she's like, I'm like, just don't leave me. We'll get you to $20 an hour. Just don't leave me. So, but finding good people, finding good people is so important when you're building a business and replacing yourself. Like to be honest with you, I know she's great. This will be the last thing I say on this, okay? I know she's great, but I didn't even really fully comprehend how much she could do. Like the whole conversation I had in the very beginning when I told you about the guy who had who paid and he wanted the same day service, but he paid for routine. I haven't talked to him at all. She's handled that from beginning to end. She told him how much it's going to be an extra fee, sent him the invoice, like the whole thing. Called the server, paid the server with my credit card. Edge, how many things have you bought with my credit card? Did you buy pizza with my? Did you buy a new AC unit in your place with my credit card?
Right? If you
She has my credit card. Okay. So, I mean, I guess I'll tell you a sad story later on if she does use it, I guess. But I don't think she will. Like finding good people in the Philippines is possible. So anyway, I'll help you guys if that's something you're interested in. We could do a whole video where I'll just plan ahead and get a bunch of VAs on and we'll have them read some scripts where they call attorneys for you. They don't have to call attorneys, but you could give them a script like that so that you can see their English. And then you can make a decision whether you want to hire them or not. And then you can put them back to part-time. There was one time I was super busy. And so I said, hey, Edge, Mary, like, can you guys just go down to like 2 days a week? Because I don't have time to have monitor and train you and all this stuff. And now we're at a place where Edge knows what she's doing. I don't need to be there to monitor and train her or anything. She does most of it, 90% of it by herself. So cool, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. Anybody have any questions or comments or
I'm
anything else?
interested in that, Mike, somehow, doing the,
Thank you very much.
so
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm looking for somebody to input jobs during the day, you know.
Yes, so good for that, right? Edges, that was the first thing we did was like how to use, and I switched for Edge. I switched from Serve Manager to what's that other one that John has?
Not loyal
And
dog.
anyway, Paper Tracker, and then we went to where else did we go? We went to Legal Connect, Edge, and then we went to PST, and then now we're gonna go to this new one, which I think is gonna change the market. So Edge has used all of them. See, all the ones I've used, she knows all about. She's a little professional. Yep, that's right, baby. All right. All right, let's do our sign off here. All right, go out there, take action, and live mighty. I did like a screenshot on my phone, like a cool guy. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Well, I'll bring a bunch of VAs on if you want, or maybe we do it right after. I don't wanna hijack the meeting.
Okay.
Do it right after. Okay.